Hello, everybody. I am Pam with Perfectly Holistic and happy Purrr's Day. How are you guys? It's been a hot minute since we have been together again for a live Q&A call, and I'm looking forward to this with you guys tonight. So, first of all, let me know how you guys are doing, and if you are watching, drop a comment. Let me know that you're here, where you're watching from, so I can say hello. And you guys be thinking about any questions that you want to cover tonight. I am yours. Happy to contribute my thoughts and suggestions. Maybe give you guys some tips to help navigate whatever it is you are working through with your cats, whether that be emotionally, physically, spiritually, whatever it might be. So maybe I can shed some light on things and give you guys some ideas. With a holistic approach, of course, because that's what I do. I'm all into energy, frequency, and vibration. I am not a medical doctor. I am not a vet, so I do not give you medical advice. But I can share with you what I have learned from amazing integrative and holistic vets on numerous topics and issues, as well as feline behaviorist, and just from my own experience and what I do with energy healing work and energy testing and all that good stuff. So I want to say hi to Bela over in Vancouver. Hello there. How are you and Ritu doing? And then Diane. Hey, Diane from Sacramento, California. Oh my goodness. It's already dark here. I don't know about where you guys are, but I just realized that the time changes this weekend, at least for us in the United States. So next time we get together, it will still be light outside. It'll be so nice. And Easter is early. I just realized that today. That's the end of the month. My goodness. So where did the whole first quarter of the year go? We're already almost 8 days into March. So anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. I was going to try to stream on Instagram tonight. I don't think it's working. But if it is, definitely let me know. I don't think it is. Let me see if I can figure out how to. Let me see if I can just go live a different way. One over a second. Let's see what we got over here. Hang on a second. Okay, we'll just try it the old-fashioned way. I was going to try to stream directly, and I don't think it worked. So, hey, all of you guys out in Instagram land. Welcome to Perfectly Holistic's live Q&A. My name is Pam, and I am excited to be with you guys tonight. Definitely drop a comment in the comment box here and let me know that you are here. Let me know if you guys in Instagram have any questions about your cats and holistic health. So I'm excited to be here. Did anybody have any big wins? Like something great happened with one of your cats that, maybe over the last week or a few weeks since we were last together, with anything we may have talked about last time we were here. So let me know if anything great has happened, because we love to celebrate successes, right? So Peggy is joining us from Dallas. Howdy, howdy. Or she says meowdy. I love that so much. Because I am in Texas too, just north of Austin in Georgetown. So yeah, and then we have Georgia Cat Daddy. Hey there from Atlanta. Awesome. And I think you have 5 or 6 cats, Georgia Cat Daddy? 6, 7, something like that. I know it's quite a bit. And Peggy says, my 10-year-old kitty has joint and shoulder pain. How can I treat it holistically? Okay, that is a great question, Peggy. My first question is, do you know why he has or she has joint and shoulder pain? Was there some kind of an injury? Did they land wrong jumping down off of something? Is this an old issue that's like creeping up? Is it something new? Is it something old? Okay, she says kitten injury. Can you be more specific? Was it like trauma where there was surgery involved? Did they break a bone? All those kinds of details, because it can help me better recommend something based on what happened and like what specifically is going on. Because whenever I hear about um, joint or mobility issues and things like that, my brain just automatically shifts to chiropractor. Like, has a chiropractor looked at this? Because sometimes it's just a misalignment. And cats can go through years of struggling with mobility issues, and it's just out of alignment. There's something either in the spine, the hips, a leg, an ankle that just is misaligned. Maybe they um, fell, they landed wrong, something like that happened. It could have even been years ago, and their bodies just have always been out of alignment. So what happens is over time the body adjusts, um, and it might have to compensate for the ability to walk normally. You'll have one side maybe atrophy, muscles in those areas can atrophy a little bit. So she says that's exactly it. As a kitten, he's an old man. He fell off the bed. I caught him. His shoulder made a crack sound. I took him to the vet. I would love a chiropractor. Yeah, I mean, if you can look up veterinary chiropractors near me, put in your zip code, do an online search, because it's not so uncommon. Um, Chiropractors are awesome, and that would be my first go-to. Um, so that's where I would start, because if you can get that back in alignment, and it might take several adjustments several times for the body to realize, what normal is supposed to be, because when it's been out of alignment for so long, the body thinks that is normal when it's not normal. So I would start, if you can find a chiropractor to just look at it. And a lot of them these days they're making house calls, so it might be like a mobile vet that you can look for. You can look, like, do a search for mobile vet chiropractic services, put in your zip code and see what happens, because you never know. I had a chiropractor come to my house last year to look at Gunner, um, because he was like just barely limping a little bit, but I knew that he was uncomfortable, and the energy stuff that I do, I could figure out, um, you know, like specifically parts of the spine that was being affected with stress and imbalance. And so, no, she really wasn't all that expensive. But if you hi Jane Adrian, if you, I miss your faces more. If you can find someone in a clinic, obviously that's probably going to be a little less money than a house call. But my goodness, just to see the results, they are so gentle, the way that they just gently use their fingers to find the stress and the weaknesses, like sensitive areas, as they walk their fingers over the body and the spine and the joints. It's really, really awesome. They're so gentle, and they're just using their fingers literally to push things back into alignment. Um, but you can use, depending on the pain level, you could use a CBD. Um, you could also support with like joint and mobility supplements. There's a lot of that. And remember, that's not going to fix the root cause of the problem, but it might prevent like the joint deterioration and just support joint health, and the structural integrity and things like that. But if you can find a chiropractor to have an exam, it might be simpler than you. I mean, fixing the problem may end up being simpler than you realize. Um, Back to my Gunner story, she only had to come one time. One time. He laid there. He's never seen this person ever. And she was so calm and so nice, and he just laid on the ottoman and she just worked on him. Um, and he was just as relaxed as could be. And then, she left, and then she's like, oh yeah, here, he's right here. And she did a couple things, and checked him, she checked his whole body. And he stopped limping, and he has not limped since. And I I traced it energetically all the way back to many years ago, probably around 2011. So it was been quite a while ago. It was probably 11 or 12 years ago, 12 years ago, maybe. Um, in my old house, which was a 2-story house that we built, we had really high ceilings, and he somehow, being the curious boy that he is, he jumped from our balcony over to like a little roof line, and then I guess he was jumped all the way down to the ground, and we didn't know that he had done this because we didn't know he was missing. We thought he was on the balcony. And we hear this crying at the front door, and we open the door, and there's Gunner. It's like, where the hell have you been, and what happened to you? And he had a little busted, he had a little mess on his chin, a little boo-boo, because obviously it's a high drop. And so it was probably from that drop that he, got something out of alignment. And, over time it can show up. So you never know. But I would definitely see if you can find a chiropractor first. And then, depending on what they say, maybe one adjustment would do it, maybe 2 would do it. But again, you could use stuff like the joint mobility stuff. You can use CBD if it really is in pain. Maybe some acupressure to help relieve stressed areas to to promote blood flow. Acupuncture it would improve blood flow, but it won't like put things back in alignment. So yeah, that's like going straight to the top. If you can get to a chiropractor, that would be my first stop. So good luck with that. She says, would love a homeopathic vet in Dallas. Well, you know what? Google that too. Just do an online search. There's actually a website, ahvma.org. If you go to their website and plug in your zip code, you can find a holistic, and I say that loosely, holistic vet that's registered with AHVMA, and it will list where they're located and all of the practices that they do. So, not every holistic vet is really holistic. They just have trained in extra modalities like Chinese medicine or chiropractic and things like that. So they can throw that term onto their website and call themselves holistic. But just be aware. If there is, I think there's even an association of homeopathic vets, so I can't remember the name. But if you do a search for Homeopathic Veterinary Association, I bet you'll find it. And they may have a locator as well. I personally don't know of one in Dallas, but there might be one that does remotes, somewhere else, and they can work with you as well. So it's ahvma.org for a holistic vet. Yes, AHVMA. That's the American Holistic Veterinary Medical Association. So, and there's also a Veterinary Chiropractic Association. So if you do a search for Veterinary Chiropractic Association, I don't know the name specifically, but I know there is one. And so you might be able to look up somebody that way too. So good luck with that. Diane says, I took your great course on color therapy. Thank you. Is it okay to leave the colors out all the time? Each of my 3 kitties tend to be drawn to a different color most of the time, orange, blue, and green. That is awesome. Yes, there is no reason why you can't just leave a color out. So that way, whenever they need it, they can go sit on it or sit next to it or sleep on it, whatever. And when they've had enough, they just get up and they leave. But then it's cool because when you walk in and you see them on a certain color, you can go, oh, you need support for, whatever chakra it may correlate with, or if there's some kind of emotional issue or physical issue that's going on, it can kind of clue you in to like what may be going on and why they need that support. So I love the idea of just leaving it out. If you guys are not familiar with color therapy, it is so very cool. It's all about frequency and energy and vibration, which is all about me. I love it, love it, love it. the animals do not have to be able to see the colors, because we know that cats are limited in the colors they can see, and we know that dogs are limited in the colors they can see. It's about the frequency that those colors emit. So even a blind cat can enjoy color therapy, because if you put them on the color, if they need it, they will stay. If they don't, they would leave. But they are attracted to the energy that it provides and supporting them on some level, if that's emotional, physical, whatever. So absolutely, definitely, I would leave it out and just see what they choose and when they choose it, and just kind of make a note of when you see them on certain things. And it's really, really cool. So yeah, if that workshop is available on the shop.perfectlyholistic.com website under workshops. So if you're interested in learning more, I highly recommend it. It's such an easy way to provide support for our babies. And they do so well on it. It's amazing. Okay, so Cat Daddy says, yes, he has not. Okay, I got close. 9 cats, including outdoor kitties. Okay, so that's where I got the number 7 from. I was thinking 6 or 7, but I forgot about the 2 outdoor kitties. So yeah, sometimes my memory works pretty well, and other times not so well. Anyway, so yeah, what else is going on in y'all's world? Let me think if there's anything like exciting. Well, let me just share this with you guys. If does anybody on here know how to muscle test? Just drop a comment. Say yes. Give me a thumbs up on your comments. If you know how to muscle test. If not, I want you to think about something. This is a skill that you need to learn how to do. Everybody needs to learn how to muscle test. You can find the secrets the body holds if you know how to muscle test. And muscle testing is not an invasive type of procedure. It is basically tapping into the wisdom of the body through true, false, or yes, no type of statements to find answers. So it's something that holistic practitioners and chiropractors and nutritionists naturopath doctors have been using for decades. So it's been around for a really long time. And this method changed my life probably back in 2006 when I was first introduced to it. And then a few years later, I got the chance to actually learn how to do it. And it was fascinating. It blew my mind, and I was hooked. So I am starting a private program to teach people how to master muscle testing, not just learn it, but really, really master it so that you can find all the, answers that your cat's body holds. If your cat is dealing with certain issues, struggling with diet, struggling with allergies, vaccine reactions, whatever it might be, environmental sensitivities, if there are emotional things, I can teach you how to find all the answers and figure out where the cause from a frequency level, from the energy side of things is, where the stress is coming from, and then what to do about it. So it is going to be a deep dive course that is going to be a private program, invitation only. So basically you have to book a call to see if it is something that would be of interest and be a good fit for you. I have been using this technique for years with myself, my own cats, with helping with clients. It's also going to be like self-paced. So I'm going to do 6 live lessons and weekly live Q&A calls, and it is a lifetime program. So you can learn how to energetically test and assess your kitties. But the cool thing is you can learn the same techniques to use on yourself, your family, your other pets, not just cats, but we're going to talk about kitties a lot because that's what I specialize in. So we're also going to look at emotional blocks. We're going to look at how to do energy healing work. you're going to have so many resources that I've collected over the years just available for to you at your fingertips as you learn everything. So it's going to be really, really cool. The registration starts next no ends next Friday the 15th, and our first class is March 19th. So these will be done on Tuesday evenings, 7 o'clock Central. They will be recorded, so you don't have to be there live. And these are, like I said, it's going to be kind of a self-paced thing. So if you just want to spend 30 minutes a day on just learning and watching the videos and going through the information, that's fine. But we'll do 6 weekly lessons, and then every Thursday afternoon there will be a live Q&A call where you can call in, we can go over, and I can give you specific guidance and support as you learn to go through all the information and master all the techniques and the processes. It's going to be really, really awesome. So if you are interested, definitely reach out on Instagram on my link tree. If you guys are watching there is a Mastering Muscle Testing Program link that you can book a call with me. If you are watching from Facebook or YouTube, probably the best way to reach out if you haven't seen it in one of our posts on there is just send me an email, at pam@purrrfectlyholistic.com, and I can send you a link, and you can schedule a time to meet with me, probably about 30 minutes, and just go over the information and see if it's a good fit. So that registration again ends on March 15th, and we start the 19th. So it will go for 6 weeks. The live weekly Q&A calls will keep going after those 6 weeks. So it is live every week for a live Q&A. So you'll get the personal support from me to learn how to do better, and when you learn better, or when you learn how to do this, you can make so many educated decisions on their care, what they're eating, even vet recommendations. Because you go to the vet, sometimes we get overwhelmed. We don't speak their language necessarily. So they may be offering you 2 or 3 or 4 different things. And, a lot of times we just kind of go, okay. And we take them home and we're like, does he really need all this? I don't really feel comfortable. I don't like the fact that they want me to use this. Is this even good for them? You can just right there in the vet's office start to go through all the stuff and muscle tests and figure out what your cat needs, what it doesn't need, what will support him, what will not, what will benefit, what will not. And it will save you so much time and money. But you can also find root causes of issues from an energetic perspective. It's all about frequency. It's all about vibration. So whether you want to go through the program on a private level, or if you want to just take a basic workshop, I have a basic workshop on my website, shop.purrrfectlyholistic. It will teach you the basics. And you should at least get that. You should at least start with that, because, oh my gosh, like I said, even just having a basic understanding, you can begin to practice and utilize that information, and it can really change your life, and it can certainly change your cat's lives. So definitely let me know if you have any questions about that. Book a call to find out if the Mastering Muscle Testing Program for Healthy Happy Cats would be a good thing for you. So, okay, that was my spiel. Do you guys have any other questions? Okay, so Cat Daddy says lots of scratching without fleas. Yeah, okay, so if there is itching and they don't have fleas, because most of your kitties are indoors, I would suggest looking at all the possible reasons why the immune system is so out of balance. Have they been vaccinated? If so, how many times? Were there heavy metals in those vaccines? You can find these things out. It's not hard. You have to look at what they've been exposed to that's causing an immune response. When there's an immune response, the immune system sends out a bunch of histamine, and it can be very, very uncomfortable. That's why cats get, they overgroom a lot, they scratch. The histamine is just, running through their body like without an off switch. So cats with a compromised immune system and also an unhealthy gut, which, remember, they share the same real estate. If that is out of balance on some level, your cats will have reactions to things like springtime. We have trees blooming now. Shortly, we'll start to see, grass pollens and weed pollens come up. And these cats cannot mount a normal histamine response because it's already out of whack. So, this time of year, you will see a lot of pets struggling with the whole allergy, roller coaster. Um, the best thing that you can do is figure out why their immune system is out of balance to begin with and address that root cause. So, if they were exposed to flea and tick medications, that can damage the immune system, and those are neurotoxins. They get stored in the tissues, they get stored in the brain, they wreck the gut. If your cat has had tons of antibiotics, that wrecks the gut lining. It destroys all the good, healthy gut flora. If they've had a lot of vaccines, and I know a lot of cats have, that damages the gut. So think about what your cat has been exposed to, and then go do some cleanup work, do some detox work. Let's help the body get rid of all the stuff that's causing imbalance, and then start to heal the gut lining. And there's a lot of good products out there to do that. Um, Sometimes it's food sensitivities that contribute to itching. So you got to look at what you're feeding your cats. Is the food fresh? Is it protein based? Is it wet food? Is it dry food? If it's dry food, it can be full of starch. And those, food sensitivities can cause a lot of skin issues. So you have to really look at what your cat is eating and what's in their environment, what they're exposed to. And that'll start giving you some clues like, oh, okay, I need to look at this. I need to look at this. What can I change? What can I improve? So does that give you some ideas? Because it's typically histamine, but you have to figure out why is histamine being released, and then peel back layers. And that's where muscle testing comes into play. You can start to peel back layers and look for the root cause from an energetic perspective. And there's always an answer. There is always an answer. And it's really cool. Jody says, I recently trapped a stray cat that was not claimed. The Humane Society deemed he was not adoptable, and they were going to euthanize. Oh, they were going to euthanize him unless I claimed him back, which I did. He has been here 2 weeks and is still so frightened. Oh, let's see. I'm going to put this on the screen for you. He howls all night. He's scared of me, but he eats and uses his litter box. I want to break through his fear and let him know he is loved and has a home. But what is the best approach? Is there an herb or something I can use to calm him and help him feel safe? He is currently, I think you're probably typing again. Okay, so I suspect that there is some emotional trauma. There might be some abandonment issues or maybe some abuse issues, and he's afraid of people unless he was truly feral. So you could consider doing energy work. I have a service, Mind, Body, Spirit Release, which uncovers those emotional blocks and traumas and clears those from subconscious and from the tissues and organs of the body. So that can that can just do so much work quickly. Things like flower essences can be really nice and gentle. There's one called Aspen, which is helping cats and people, by the way, feel secure. Color is awesome. So a scared cat is the root chakra is probably blocked, if not shrunk, So if we can help him feel calm and safe and secure, the color red is very supportive for the root chakra. So put down something red. Put down something green like grass, because green is very grounding. It can be very help promote calm and security. So put down something green. You can even use like calming music. There's a bunch of free stuff on YouTube. So like meditation music, calming music, just, type those things in and see what comes up. You'll have a lot of options, and you can play that music like when you're gone, Jody, during the day. Let's see. I mean, you can try things like play sessions, confidence building, if he's ready for that, like with the wand toy, see if he's interested in playing, and then do a lot of positive reinforcement, like so the food with the treats, any interaction that's positive, give him a reward so that he starts to associate you with something very positive and loving. And food. Food, some cats are very food motivated. I have two. Others are not so much. So if he's one of those that can be very food motivated, that can work in your favor. So let's see what else. I'm not sure. Okay, let me reread your question for a second. He's been here 2 weeks. He's scared of you, but he eats and uses litter boxes. Okay. Yeah. The other thing that you could try is herbs for self-selection. I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier. Julian Thorne, my friend from the UK, is the one who taught me all about zoopharmacognosy. So there's herbs, like dried herbs that you can get, and rose buds. Even if you want to go in your backyard or your neighbor's yard and just take a rose, or even if it's like dead and kind of shriveled or whatever, or dry those leaves out real good, those petals. Rose helps heal the emotional heart, so you can put like a little pile of dried rose petals or rose buds in on like put a little towel down and just put a little pile of rose buds. You can put angelica root in another little space. You can put valerian root in another little space. You can use chamomile. You can put a little pile of chamomile because that's very calming. So let him self-select. Just put it on a towel, leave it in his space. And again, cats are very smart. They will be drawn to certain herbs, and it's I think they call it the phenols, the scent of those herbs that pass the blood-brain barrier and go straight into the bloodstream. So it acts like a natural chemical process and promotes calmness and promotes healing depending on what's going on. So those are, I mean, you could definitely try the herb garden too. So she says he has no interest in playing, but I see him playing on camera. Oh, cool. So put some toys in there. That's awesome. He's very food motivated, but throws himself into the door trying to escape. Yeah, he's just scared. He's just scared. So try herbs, try color, try calming music, and just talk to him. Go in and just sit in the room and just read. Get him used to your presence, and just talk to him. Tell him how much you love him. Who knows what trauma he's been through, and that's why I love the energy work, because it can just literally peel those layers back on such a deep level and help them understand that not everybody out there is cruel. And he's probably just associating you with whatever happened before you found him. So let me know how that goes. Okay. I'm looking at Bela's comment. So I'm going to put this one up here. This is from Bela. She says, my 19-year-old passed with heart failure, but now I have a foster who is a determined kibble addict. I've switched her up from Whiskas to Open Farm, but she's refusing to eat wet food. My shortcut is always energy work, clearing addictions to kibble, clearing blocks to wet food. That's your fastest route to deal with that. For other cats, it can take a long time. It can take like 6 months in some cases. We have to teach that cat what food is. So you might have to be creative. You may have to go with like a wet treat first. Try the little squeeze up treats. Try baby food treats, like jars of baby food, the meat puree. Just put them on a little plate and just start getting, whether she eats it or not, it's just you're introducing something new. And you know, cats, cats are neophobic. They don't like new things. So we have to teach them what food is. Biologically, they're wired to eat meat. They are wired to like proteins. So in time, you can see them come around. Some cats take a lot longer than others, so you just kind of have to pack your patience. You can start by adding a little bit of bone broth or water underneath the dry. So, you know, they're getting used to some kind of moisture on their plate or in the bowl, not full, but just a little bit at the bottom. And then you can start just introducing a little bit at a time of a wet product, you know. Crush the kibble and put it on top of the wet food. So some cats will do that too, just to start them off because it's something that they like on top. And then, you know, you have the wet food underneath and they'll taste it a little bit. You just have to keep trying, you know, again, unless you want to do energy work to clear blocks. That's the fastest. Cat Daddy says, sounds like onion work. It's like peeling an onion. Absolutely. Let's see. Let me go over here. Okay, so he says one of his cats with eosinophilic granuloma, another with chin acne and zits. Vaccines are coming. Vaccines are coming. Vaccines are coming like you're doing more. In my opinion, both of those two cats don't qualify for vaccines because they're not healthy. Eosinophilic granulomas have been tied to a hyperactive immune system, overactive immune system. It can be tied to viruses. So definitely not a candidate for a vaccine. And chin acne, zits, that's also immune skin problem. So again, not healthy according to vaccine labels. So there's your exemptions if that's what you were thinking. Definitely, I would not revaccinate them. Food sensitivity can cause chin acne. That's just one cause. There's definitely a gut issue, most likely, I would say, most likely gut issue. And remember, gut and immune system, digestive system kind of share the same space, same real estate. So if you have an immune system issue, you definitely have a gut issue. You could have food issues. You could have all. So definitely look at that. So if you can get them off the kibble, that would be a great place to start. If they're eating one kind of protein, switch them to a different kind of protein. So if they're eating chicken, put them on beef, put them on turkey, put them on rabbit. Try something else and see if that helps clear up the chin stuff for sure. Let's see. Let me go over here. Rescue remedy and water and food. That's good. Okay. Okay, Bayla says the foster kitty has developed chin acne the last couple of weeks. It's probably from the food. It's probably from the food. Can a cat chin acne come from the body detoxing? Typically, that's not what I see. You know, is it possible? Possible, but probably not likely. It's probably food related. Because you just mentioned you had to switch up the food. So it's probably something in the food causing sensitivity. Open Farm dry food uses lentils and legumes in their products, which I didn't like. So that can cause food sensitivity right there. So look out for that. But I would change up the food. It's probably food related, Bayla. I don't think, it's not your dishes or anything. It's probably the food. Because unless detoxing doesn't really show up through the chin. Detoxing when you're detoxing stuff, if the liver is not supported and the lymphatic system is not supported first, then you could have a lot of problems. Um, you could see constipation. You could see, skin eruptions on the body, not necessarily the chin. You could see lipomas, fatty lipomas under the skin, just a lot of like spots and itching and maybe some hair loss and things like that. Again, it's just, you got to be smart when you're detoxing anything. You've got to make sure drainage pathways are open first, and then the liver supported, and then you start your major detox things. So if you're doing all of that correctly, it's probably not detox, it's probably food. Okay. Oh, Georgia Cat Daddy. Okay. Well, can you just not take them? He says his rabies is due and cannot be titered. But, are they going to come to your house and make you, take him to the vet? And I'm just going to speak honestly here, guys. I have lost a cat to overvaccination. In fact, I discovered the other day that I lost 2 cats to overvaccination. So I'm very sensitive to the whole law thing. And I want you guys to be empowered. I want you to be able to be your cat's best advocate. And when you can walk in with knowledge, and show these vets that you know what you're talking about, chances are, if you really put your foot down, they will cave. You can ask for an exemption based on the fact that your cat is not healthy. And if you look at the vaccine label, it says for healthy cats only or healthy pets only. That is your exemption based on the fact that your cat has health issues, okay? And here's something else that Dr. Falconer sent out in his weekly newsletter a couple weeks ago, because, a lot of times, well, he gets this a lot. People say, "Oh, my vet sent out the little postcard reminding me that my pet's, vaccines are overdue." And I love this man so much. He's like, "There is no scientific thing called overdue vaccines. That is a marketing ploy that vets use to get you back in the clinic, because your pet's immunity does not expire on day 366, okay? It does not expire on, 3 years and 1 day. Let me tell you something I learned about the vaccine labels, the 1 year and the 3 year vaccine for rabies. I'm going to ask you guys a question. Why do you think they call it a 1 year vaccine and a 3 year vaccine? Just drop some comments. Like, why do you think they call it that? What was their standard? What made them decide this is what they're going to use, and they have to give it every year versus every 3 years? Any thoughts, any ideas? Because when I read this, my mind was like, you've got to be kidding me. But I want you to know that this is how they labeled these. Let's see, get you back in the office revenue. No, that's how they use it, but that's not what the drug companies decided when they said this is a 1 year vaccine and this is a 3 year vaccine that you have to give. But Diane, that's what vets, they use it to get you back in the office for sure. Okay, any takers? Any takers? Okay, here's the story behind the 1 year and the 3 year vaccines. The drug companies who produced the 1 year rabies vaccine only studied that vaccine for 1 year. And therefore, they determined that since we only studied it for 1 year, you have to give it every year. And the 3 year vaccine was only studied for 3 years. Therefore, they have to give it every 3 years. Does that make any freaking sense to y'all? So when they say that you're overdue, the immunity is not expiring on, the first day after that 1 year vaccine or the first day after that 3 year vaccine, your pet probably has immunity for life. And that is from veterinary immunologists that have been studying this since the 90s, probably early 90s. They've been telling vaccine companies and they've been telling vets, look, these vaccines that you're giving these animals will probably last them a lifetime. One vaccine will probably last them a lifetime. Therefore, it's not necessary to keep revaccinating them all the time. It only damages the immune system the more you vaccinate them. And it only produces more risk every time you revaccinate them. It doesn't improve immunity. I know, right, Judy? I was like, you've got to be kidding me. So I want you guys to be empowered with that knowledge, because one of my people that I was talking to just the other day said she actually, because I told her, I said, go look up the label of the vaccine that your cat was given and see what it says on it. And she said, she goes, oh my gosh, on the label, it said, it even had a note on there, it's for use in healthy cats and dogs, pets only. But it said it is not, it is, the vaccine itself is probably, the efficacy lasts much longer than the prescribed time on the vaccine. It's not really necessary to do the revaccination over and over again. It said that on the label. And she was just like, oh my gosh, I bet the vet doesn't even know it says that on the label. So get a copy of the vaccine label that your clinic wants to use of the product, and read it. Call them and ask them what vaccine that they recommending for your cat. So you can go online and look it up. Look up the material from whatever company makes it, and read the label. Read it all, because it's all there. It's mind blowing. And sadly, our pets are paying the price. And so, like Dr. Falconer says, vote with your wallet, interview your vets carefully, and let them know, you know what, this is a deal breaker for me. I will not keep revaccinating my pets. If I come to you, is that going to be a problem? Offer to sign a waiver based on the fact that your pet does not meet the vaccine label requirements of being healthy, and offer to sign a waiver. Check with your state to see if they accept vaccine waivers, and then ask your vet for a vaccine waiver. It's in their power to do so, and if they don't want to do it, go shop around and find somebody else who respects your views, respects you enough to respect your decisions. Like, their health is your responsibility. And everybody on here loves their cats dearly. I mean, we love them. They are family, but we don't want to do unnecessary harm. So the more education you have, the more knowledge you have about it, you can walk in there and be more confident and say, nope, not doing that. And just stand your ground. It works. They will cave. And if you decide to just pack your stuff up and go, well, okay, well, we're just going to leave, and we won't be coming back. Because it costs money to go get new customers. It's easier to keep old customers than have to spend money and go find new customers. So, call their bluff. And if you have to, that's my best advice. Just shop around. So Diane says, my vet won't give my cat the 3-year vax. Well, then just tell your vet you're not going to come back. It's like, good. Okay, I don't need a 3-year vax. I don't need a 1-year vax. I don't need any vaxes. There's just no scientific data to prove that your cat needs it. That's really the bottom line. Bayla says, my vet has been avoiding vaccines for 20 years. Thank God. That's awesome. There are some vets out there that are knowledgeable about this information, and they have it. They get it. I wish more would be more open-minded to this information, because it really can impact the pets that they're helping, and some of them may be just ignorant about it, but then some of them just do it anyway. I'm convinced, because I think for some places, especially that are run by these corporations like Banfield, these investment companies who are buying clinics, they're running them like a business, not like a medical facility. It's all about the profits. It's all about the bottom line. They have to do certain things. And if those vets don't comply, they're out of a job. So, again, vote with your pocketbook because it's important. It's important. I just can't emphasize that enough. Okay, let's see. I think I missed one up here. So what kind of dry food could I use instead of open farm to go forward wet? Best brand of milk thistle. Yeah, any organic milk thistle would be fine. You can use tincture, you can use powder. It just find an organic brand or some brand that's made like maybe a pet specific label like Animal Essentials. But there's no, even a human grade, a human product, that you would buy for yourself. You can even use something like that. You just scale the dose down to probably like an eighth of the human dose, eighth to a quarter of the human dose. Dry food, I don't know. I don't work in the dry food area. I'm not a fan of dry food. I don't believe that there is a really good dry food out there. Now there's probably brands that have better quality ingredients than other brands. That's true. But at the end of the day, it's still high heat processed multiple times, and it still promotes, the advanced glycation end products. It promotes inflammation. It's metabolized as sugar, which is inflammatory. So, at the end of the day, there's really not a good dry food that would avoid all of those things. There is one product that I hear some people liking. I think it uses tapioca. Don't quote me, but I think it does. It's called Young Again. And it is a low starch or a low carb dry food. So I don't know if you can get that in Canada, but you could look and see if you can find that one. But again, you're not going to avoid the sugar. You're not going to avoid the metabolism issues with dry. So, and the whole lack of moisture issue, which for cats is huge. If a cat is on a dry food diet, they are in a constant state of dehydration, and it puts a lot of stress on their kidneys. So that's a big reason why a lot of cats die of kidney failure, and that's why they start to decline at 8, 9, 10 years old, and their kidney values start to go up is because of the diets they've been eating for, all of their life. So we have to be mindful of those kinds of things and think long-term. Just keep those things in mind. So Bronson Ragdoll says the corporate veterinary hospitals are all about the money. The animal's health, so sad. I agree. It is. And so that's why if you can vote with your pocketbook and not support those places when at all possible, because you know what they're all about, then all the better, we have so much control as consumers. We have to really take back that control in every aspect of our lives. Where we put our money is what we're supporting, from the brands that we purchase to the places that we shop. Whatever it is in life, we have to remember we have a lot of influence and power as consumers. And if we don't want to support something, just look at the politics this last year and all the brands that did a lot of stuff that consumers were not happy with, and they just boycotted those brands, and those brands lost billions of dollars. So, I think vote with your pocketbook. If you're not happy with something, don't support it for sure. Georgia Daddy says, why song Epigen 90 starch free, grain free if you must do a dry to transition? Oh, that's good to know. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, let me see if I got anything else. And Honest Kitchen has dehydrated. Yeah. Yes. Honest Kitchen is a good brand. So any freeze-dried, dehydrated, if you can start incorporating some moisture with that, that would be awesome. Does anybody over here on Instagram have any other questions? Let me know. It is almost time to wrap up. I can't believe it's almost been an hour. Y'all have been great. I hope you got something out of tonight's Q&A. Georgia Cat Daddy says, why song Epigen can be fed to pancreatitis kitties as needed. Oh, cool. That's good to know. And a lot of pancreatitis issues are all related to the starch and dry foods. So again, if we start to feed them like carnivores, like they would be in the wild, then they don't get a lot of these diseases that cats in the wild get. So, we just have to think about what we're putting in them, putting on them. It all makes a difference. If you wouldn't do it for yourself, why would you do it for them? And vice versa. If you would do something, like if you go to a naturopath doctor, if you see a chiropractor for yourself, if you take really good care of your health and you look at your diet and you're looking, reading labels and you're avoiding things like glyphosate, etc. And if you're not revaccinating yourself every year, for example, why would you do it for them? So we have, there's so many things that we do for ourselves that are so wonderful and positive. We could be doing the same thing for the kitties. So keep that in mind. That was like one of the biggest aha moments I had when I read one of Dr. Falconer's articles years ago. And he was talking about the whole immunization thing, it's called duration of immunity. And his point was, we don't go revaccinate ourselves every year for the childhood vaccines that we had when we were kids, right? And I'm needle phobic, so that's not going to happen regardless. I don't do anything regarding needles. I run away. So when I thought about that, and it wasn't long after I had taken all my cats for their annual checkups and vaccines, I mean, this is before I knew better, and I read that, and I'm like, that makes so much sense. What the hell am I doing? And that was the last time I took them all to the vet for their vaccinations every year. Truth, Justice, Mercy says, do you have experience with pemphigus folicaceus? My kitty's nail beds smell like dead tissue, and I'm imagining her immune system attacking. Yes, pemphigus is it can be an autoimmune issue. It can have the secondary, it can be like a yeast in their nail beds and stuff. Fungus, yeast, candida issues, and all that. Yes, there's an overactive immune system. So peel back the layers. Has she ever been diagnosed with having any kind of a virus like herpes or calicivirus that she could have had as a kitten? When they vaccinate cats with compromised immune systems, it can lead to autoimmune issues like pemphigus. When they've been exposed to toxins and stuff like that damage the intestinal lining, that damage the gut. When you pile, again, it's all about the toxic load. We start piling all these things on to a cat with a weakened immune system. It just sends the body into this overdrive and can develop into autoimmune. So there, you gotta peel back the layers. Number one, find the why, find the root cause. And then you're probably going to have to start really slow and just healing the gut. Mitochondrial support. I know this is very detailed. I'm not going to go into all the details, but, start with nutrition, healing the gut. And then you'll probably want to look at doing some detox if there was toxins of some kind that were exposed to, whether it was once, twice over the years, whatever. So look at what you need to clean up. But you want to make sure that the gut is stable enough to handle that before you just start doing all the detox work. There are homeopathic remedies that you can look at for those types of eruptions on the skin. I know that, like for some cats, it can look very much like blisters. So, something like a homeopathic remedy would be like Cantheris, which is great for blisters, skin issues. You could look at trying some homeopathic remedies just for, superficial symptoms. But again, we've got to go deeper and find the why. She says no vet has ever diagnosed her with fungus or viruses since the immune system is intimately associated with the gut. Thank you. You just answered my next question. Yep. It is complicated. I actually have a kitty that I do a lot of energy work on right now who has pemphigus. So I'm helping her mama, and she's working with her vet. So it's like she's getting two sides. She's getting energy side and she's getting the veterinary side, and we're kind of putting our heads together and helping her. So, yeah, she's got a really bad case of pemphigus, and it's crazy, and it's going to take a while, but all of those things like virus, energy, definitely gut and immune issues, and it's been going on for a long time. And unfortunately, she was vaccinated, and she does need some detox work. So it can be complicated. So I say pack your patience and just one step at a time. But you gotta find out why. Why is the biggest question? Why is it happening? And there's a lot of potential causes. So you might have to do some more, gut diagnostics. The Innovative Pet Labs has a new comprehensive gut health check for cats as a test that you could look at doing. You could definitely you could try the OxyCat on the nail beds. I don't know how effective that will be for severe cases, though. That's the problem. It really depends on how bad the autoimmune issues are. So, yeah, and how bad the skin is. So, hope that gives you some ideas. Reach out if you want to do a little bit deeper work. So anyway, well, guys, thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. Don't forget about the Mastering Muscle Testing for Healthy Happy Cats program. Enrollment deadline next Friday. Book a call if you want to talk about that more and see if it's a good fit or not. And if not, look at doing the muscle testing workshop and just learn the basics. Guys, I'm telling you, it can be life-changing. And I don't say that lightly because it changed my life. And it changed my cat's life forever. My cats are they're so healthy. And I'm so grateful that I have those skills. And everybody can learn it. It's not, you don't have to be special. You don't have to have special talents because we all have the intuitive ability to learn it. You just have to learn it. So anyway, you guys have a great rest of your evening. Have a wonderful rest of March. Happy Easter. And we'll see you the first week of April. And we'll see you on the radio show this month. We have another great show with Brad from Steve's Real Food. And we're talking about pet food safety and what to look for in your pet food companies. So let me think if there was anything else. Just keep watching our social posts. We could drop a lot of stuff. So thank you guys. Have a great night, and we'll see you next time. Bye, y'all.